Custer's Revenge was one of the more infamous video games released on the Atari 2600, and certainly the most well-known adult-themed game on the system, for all the wrong reasons. But it wasn't the first of these pornographic games on the console. That honor, if you want to call it that, belongs to Beat 'em and Eat 'em, which was released in 1982. It's a ripoff of Kaboom, although instead of catching actual bombs being dropped by a madman, you're catching splooge bombs that are being fired off of a skyscraper by a pervert that's beating off from the rooftop. You control a pair of promiscuous ladies that walk along the street trying to catch all the gunk with their mouths in an effort to prevent the wasted sperm that could have become a famous doctor or a lawyer. Seriously, that's what the manual says. I don't think I have to explain that that's not how this works. The manual is hilarious. It goes on to explain the reason for this game's existence is a response to kids always beating adults at video games. So here's a game that only adults can play. So if there are no kids to play it, you as an adult actually have a chance to win. What the fuck? Between how absurd the game itself is, along with the tongue-in-cheek tone of the manual, did you see what I did there? I don't see how anyone in their right mind could take this game seriously, and yet some people did, and of course were offended. The game is exactly what it's meant to be, a novelty that those with a pervy sense of humor can enjoy. I mean, there's literally nothing erotic about this, and rightfully so. Nobody should ever get off to something like this, although there's something for everyone, so if this tickles your fancy, then all the power to you, I guess. But that being said, the game itself could have still been a lot better. The controls are okay. It uses the paddle controller, thankfully, so it does what it needs to do in that department. But it still feels more stiff, if you pardon the pun here, than that of its hero, Kaboom, which definitely was a smoother playing experience. Also, the patterns of the cock lava are way too sporadic. I get that it's supposed to get more challenging as the game goes on and everything, but it happens too early in the game, or should I say prematurely. The fact that it picks up speed every wave, that's where the challenge should lie. Instead, you're not really reacting, you're just frantically spinning the paddle. The only different types of variations are whether you want 2 girls or 1, and you can toggle whether or not a successful catch means having the love juice land above the shoulder or hip. I guess a famous doctor or lawyer can be conceived by landing your wad on the lady's belly. When the guy starts wanking, you'll hear the recycled sound effects from when you die in Pac-Man, and catching the spermies uses the sound effects from Donkey Kong, which were the 2 games that I got along with the 2600 on my 5th birthday, and were the first video games I ever played in my life. So yeah, my childhood is now officially ruined. So yeah, Beat 'em and Eat 'em is a pretty shallow game, and I'm not talking about the pornographic theme. I mean, there's not a lot of depth to the game. Plus, it's a clone. But there are some nice touches, like the lip-licking animation when you complete a level, or the fact that you get an extra life every 69 points, and the facial expression on the pervert's face. I mean, this man is on cloud 9 right here. It's not a bad game, but the only redeeming qualities really are the novelty of it all, which will wear off faster than an actual orgasm. And in your post-nut clarity, you'll say, why aren't I just playing Kaboom instead?